so it's Anthea Mumpy from Mumpy Insurance Brokers here today, and I'm speaking with my partner Douglas Pennell, and just having a chat with him about breast cancer insurance. So Douglas, you've specialized in breast cancer insurance now for over 20 years. Why? What got you interested in providing that protection?
Well, cancer-related insurance period, but breast cancer-related aspect of it, because I've always been surrounded by women. I have my mother, I have two sisters, I have my wife, I have a daughter, I don't have any boys. So, women are pretty important in my life. And seeing what the impact of such an illness can be, not only on the the physical health of the individual affected, but also the emotional health of them, because in most cases it's a part of what makes you a woman. So to know that that's something that we can provide some solutions to help with in the event that it occurs is pretty important.
Excellent. So can you give some examples of some of the things? I understand what happens is if you're diagnosed, you receive a lump sum of money from the insurance company. What could a woman potentially do with that money?
It's a great question. So the thing with critical illness insurance, the way I always talk about it in general, is the fact that it gives you quality of life and dignity options that aren't there without cash. So if you had a policy that was a quarter, $225,000, half, $50,000, $100,000, $250,000, whatever it may be of coverage, as Anthea said, it's a one-time lump sum payment. So if you're diagnosed with life-threatening breast cancer, you qualify, you submit your claim, they're going to pay out that check. You can then use it for virtually anything. It's literally cash in your hands. It's tax-free money. So you could use it for reconstructive surgery. So one of the first things that I know comes to mind is that if something was happening, you had to have a mastectomy, you know that there would be money to pay for reconstructive surgery to help you feel like yourself again. But more important to me, with relative to that, is the other uses that get taking the stresses off. Because walk out of a doctor's office having just been told that you've been diagnosed with something like cancer, your brain starts to spin. And one of the first things is, oh my God, what's going to happen to my family? What's going to happen to, my future? It's what's going to happen to my job? What's going to happen to my business if I'm a principal of an architectural firm, as an example? All that stuff starts to spin. If you know that you've got a significant amount of tax-free money, I should point out that critical illness claims are tax-free benefit in Canada. So that's pure, as I always say, spendable for the bank cash. You can use it however you need it. So if it's paying overtime for staff to look after your firm, if it's paying for the child care, it's paying for the treatments to get to the facility. One of the very first claim payouts that I dealt with, the individual lived a fair ways out of town from where he had treatment. So this wasn't breast cancer, this was a different type of cancer in that particular case. But in order to get there, his wife was taking all this time off work to get him into town, to get his treatment, and then have to bring him back and everything else. They couldn't afford anything else. When they realized they had this critical illness check, what they were able to do is he was able to hire a taxi to a limo or whatever sort of thing to get him to the hospital. She could get on with her work. She would, of course, be there to support him when he got home, stuff like that, as any spouse would do for their partner. But that part of it was kind of taken off, and they weren't worried about the financials. About that. So it just gives you those quality of life and dignity sorts of options. Funnily enough, staying with that particular same client, when the recovery was full, one of the things they also did, knowing they had this tax-free money in the bank, was they took, once it was recovered and there was no longer any concern, it was in remission, actually the family went away for a few weeks and was able to kind of regroup. Mom's better. We're not having to worry about it anymore. We kind of get together again after that whole stress of, will they survive, and seeing how they're having to. Nothing happens in isolation. When someone's dealing with, everybody around them is affected by it one way or another.
Excellent. So it sounds like it really gives a lot of peace of mind to people when something catastrophic happens in their life.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you and I have written a book together called Insurance Exposed, What You Need to Know, and it's really written to help people make better choices with their insurance protection. What would be an insider secret, maybe something that people don't know when it comes to breast cancer insurance?
Great question. I guess the biggest thing with related to that product in general is I'm very careful with the providers that I work with, because from the inside of the industry, some are better at paying sooner than others are. A little more rigmarole with some to get it. And as far as I'm concerned, the reasons I just gave for why you should have it is the reason you should have it as quick as possible. So if something happened, the last thing you need to do is me coming up and saying, one more form, just one more form. Or, I'm sorry, they haven't approved this claim yet, or whatever, I'll be back to you in a few more weeks, or anything else like that. I want to be able to work to get that issued as quickly as possible. And some carriers have better reputations than others relative to that. So.
Excellent.
One other quick side note about critical illness, though, is one of the things that I think is the coolest about it in some respects, and it is only in Canada. No other jurisdiction in the world actually has this. There's actually a feature where if you don't get sick, so you look in life's rearview mirror of life at some point down the road and realize you stayed healthy all this time, you can actually get some, if not all, your bill back.
Wow.
So my policy, as an example, when I get to 75, all the thousands of dollars I'll have paid into it all those years, assuming I didn't get sick. If I did get sick, I'll get $500,000 tax-free. That's the policy that I purchased for myself. That's how important I felt it was for myself. I got the same for my wife. Made sure we got that. We get our money back at 75 paid into that. So it's a no risk. I just consider it a reallocation of investment money. I don't get a return on it, that's true, but the return I got was that peace of mind. I also joke a lot of times that, using Murphy's Law to my benefit. If I have life insurance, I have disability insurance, I have critical insurance. Murphy takes one look at me and goes and messes with somebody else, which makes it worth every penny. What would you pay to have Murphy go mess with somebody other than you?
Right. Excellent. Great. Well, very helpful information, and I appreciate you sharing with us today.
Sure. Thanks for asking.
Thank you.